In today's tutorial, let's do the baby bundle blanket. This is really super easy and you only need 2 balls in order to make a baby blanket. So welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on this beautiful baby blanket just like so. It's only 32 inches square and it only took me 3 hours in order to crochet this. So it's featuring here, what we have is the Bernat bundle lines. We have home bundle and we have baby bundle. Both are the exact same yarn as far as texture is concerned. Weight and yardage are exactly the same. So even though one is marketed for baby just like this, you may see something in home bundle here that has colors that you would prefer. So you can mix and match any of these balls in order to make it work. I love this yarn. It actually is kind of a really fun yarn because it is changing colors, and the advantage to this is that you don't have to tie on new yarns. The yarn is one continuous piece throughout and it's sewn together when it does the joint, so it's nice and strong. So you have the texture of what appears to be very artistic and very almost scrap can like without all the tails hanging out of your work. Let me tell you a little bit more about this yarn. So here is the blanket that we're gonna do today. It's basically a square like so. It's a solid granny square. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. You're gonna need a size L 8mm crochet hook today. Now there are 4 different products within inside the Bernat bundle yarn. So we have the bundle here. You can see that there's different things going on inside, and even there's pink if you prefer pink and all of that jazz. So what we have is the really popular Bernat blanket yarn just like so, and it transitions on its own. So it has a very long runway and then it changes on its own. We then have Bernat Pipsqueak that you can see here, nice and fuzzy, and because you're using a larger size hook it's very easy to work with that. We also have Bernat Boucle right in here, so it's really kind of fuzzy like a cloud. You can really see it here on the edge, really very comfortable and soft. And then you have Bernat chunky yarn like so. So you have 4 different brands. So you have the blanket, the Pipsqueak, the Boucle, as well as chunky, all working together, and it's all extremely soft. I love this yarn because there's no one element of this that makes it really stiff. So they've paid attention to what that is in order to get the comfort for the baby, but also the designers have done a great job with mixing these colors to make it feel like a scrap can in many ways, but actually having it all being consistent. So you could actually probably do the yarn on your own if you wanted all the tails, but the nice thing about it is that they've thought about the different colors that you see here within the ball, so everything is basically supplied to you within one ball. To do a baby size you only need 2 balls of the bundle yarn, whether it's Bernat Baby Bundle or Bernat Home Bundle. So let's show you how to do this afghan. So let's get ready to go. An 8mm size L crochet hook today. It's a big one, and just pull out from the ball from the center. Just reach in and grab out and get the center. Pull is just a lot easier to work with. We're gonna create the center of your blanket, and we're just gonna create a slip knot first and insert that onto the hook. So clearly this yarn is the chunky yarn, and when this is done it'll then transition, and the next one up is Bernat Blanket, and then it goes to Pipsqueak, and then it will go to Boucle. The order could be different in every ball on how it comes out. So let's begin. We're gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and because it's really big and chunky it's gonna go real quick. So insert your hook into the very first stitch, yarn over, and pull through, and you have now the center ring of your blanket. So let's start your center off correctly. So we want to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. So this is one of the double crochets. Coming back into the center of the ring, I want you to double crochet going right into the center of the ring and double crocheting. This is classified as an easy pattern, and the reason why I said easy and not beginner is that Pipsqueak is a little more harder to work with beginners. They should learn how to do crochet before attempting that yarn. So we're gonna chain 2, and then coming back into the center of that I want you to go in again for 3 more double crochets. So that chaining of 3 counted as one of the double crochets, so that one just remember everything is in groups of 3 then on this one as you go around. Now working with the bigger hook, it gets a little bit, you have to play with it a little bit to get to be really quite smooth with it, but it does you do get to learn pretty quick. So chain 2 and coming back in. So last night I was working with a 5mm size H crochet hook today. So today or yesterday, so then today I'm working with a much bigger hook. So it takes a little bit of practice when you're switching around hooks, especially when they're that changing at that size. So this coming in, so you got 3 sides of the 4, chain 2 and coming back into the center for another 3 double crochets. So this is a solid granny, so we're not gonna have holes throughout the whole thing, only on the turning points as you go, and they're not massive holes. That's the nice thing about it. Once you get the final side done, chain 2, because you can see that there's a side corner missing, and just attach it to the top of the beginning, chain 3. And that concludes the first set of your square. Let's move along and move on to row number 2. So row number 2 and all other rows are gonna be exactly identical to each other. That's how easy this is. There's only 15 rows complete to use up 2 balls of the home bundle or the baby bundle, whatever, which one you're gonna use. You're gonna chain up a 3 please, so 1, 2 and 3, and coming into the same gap space right underneath, I want you to double crochet. I'll tell you right now, each one of the corners equals 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. That's all you're gonna put in. So usually with granny squares it's always 3. In the solid it's only 2. So now you have 3 stitches here. You're gonna fill those all in with the double crochet. So just working your way across the line. Okay, so I'm not counting that there was 3. I'm just telling you that there was 3 because you eventually run out. So now here's your corner. So remember, it's gonna always be 2 double crochet into that space, followed by chain 2 and 2 double crochet into that same space. So the corners are always gonna be identical. So once you get beyond the corner, just look and just fill the rest of the crochets that you have in the side with a new crochet on this side, so it's a double. So the size L 8mm puts everything in balance. So here's another corner. So remember 2 double crochet followed by chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So off camera I can see that the Bernat blanket is about to pop. I didn't start right when the pink started, so it will vary depending on how which colors you're pulling from. So working down the next side, just filling in everything that's there, and then coming into the corner. So 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. I'm gonna review one more round with you and the colors will be changing in just a moment. I can see it coming, and here's the final side here. Fill it in. So whenever you go all the way around, when you started you only put 2 double crochet into that first one. So to finish off when you get there is just 2 double crochet, and you're gonna notice that Bernat blanket is now coming on board. See how it's sewn together? Okay, so it's never gonna come out, and when you crochet with it you can't see all that sewing anyway, and then just chain 2. So it just happened to be that's where the Bernat blanket started, and it looks like it's gonna be a nice round, then a Bernat blanket going around. And of course that will change as you go all the way around for making things as it gets bigger. So let's move along to round number 3. So all other rounds, including what I just showed you, are the same. So you're gonna chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, coming into the same space I want you to double crochet. So the only difference between all the other rounds and this round is that there's gonna be more crochets to work with. I'm not worrying about counting them. I'm just worrying about that, making sure that each one gets its own double crochet as I move around. That's as hard as it gets. So this is almost like a beginner level. It's just that Pipsqueak inside is a little more harder to work with because you can't physically see the stitches too carefully because it's a really fluffy yarn. So then I didn't want to classify that as a beginner because I think you need to kind of feel for your stitches, and you can feel the stitches anyway when you're working with it, and you can do that on the Pipsqueak. Corners are always gonna be the same, and it's gonna be 2 double crochet followed by chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So because you're using the same size crochet hook throughout, everything will stay in balance even though all the yarn textures will always be continuously changing. So you're just gonna work your way all the way around just like that. So at the end of the round, it's just like I showed you before. We are going to finish it off with 2 double crochets into the final, chain 2 and then slip stitch it closed, and then begin another round. So this is as hard as it really gets. It's really quite a simple pattern to work with. Again, it only took me about 3 hours to make a baby size blanket, and it just gets better and better as you work on it. So this is all it is. This is the home bundle yarn or the baby bundle yarn for making a very simple afghan. If you'd like to make it a bigger one, just buy more yarn and just keep adding to it until you're satisfied with the entire size. Till next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. See ya. Bye-bye.